I'm going to go get the biggest cheeseburger you've ever seen. Prime, the biggest one. And might be a double.
I didn't really sleep last night, but I didn't spend it with a trophy. Well, I did. I spent it with my trophy wife. How's that?
Bam! Well said, Andy Reid. Andy, you little devil, you.
That was clever. Very quick.
Very clever. His wife is going to love him tonight. And he did not look tired for staying up all night. Like, I was really impressed with how fresh he looked.
Well, he's always kind of the same. He's always just kind of understated, so you can't even tell if he's tired or well slept.
What would you have done if you won the Super Bowl? I definitely would have slept with the trophy, like, without a doubt. Like, definitely. I'd have had it in the bed with me and my wife, at least for some point. Now, I might roll over at one point and just put it on the night table next to me.
So is that just normal protocol? Like, whoever wins the trophy, if you're the head coach, you get to possess it?
Well, we've heard certain coaches do that. Like, I know Sean Payton said he slept with the trophy.
Yeah.
Like, I would. I just know that.
Like, here's the weird thing. It's like you show the trophy during the game, but the guy that is the trophy holder is wearing gloves. And so it's super important not to get any, like, fingerprints on the trophy. And then you say, but if Andy Reid wants to sleep with this in his bed, that's fine. That seems like a departure from protocol.
But the guy holding the trophy's got the gloves, but it doesn't matter. Everybody else keeps grabbing it and kissing it. I would take the trophy back to my room. I would take a shower with it and soap it down, because a lot of dirty hands and mouths have been on that.
I can see that. That's understandable.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it a scrub. And then go, okay, now you're clean, Mr. Lombardi, come into the bed with me.
There's some sharp edges on that thing, though. You know, you roll around.
Yeah, you never know. You can't spoon with it. You never know what'll happen. Spooning can be an issue. But we're back from Miami, and it was an awesome football game. Super Bowl 54 in the books.
You had a long week, too, there. I mean, I feel like you're always high energy. You're super high energy all the time. I was like, how do you get it? Because you work every day. You work like 8 hours every day, it seems like. But even you, for that whole week in Miami, you're coming back and being like, wow, that was a long week.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired today. It was a long week. And then, you come home, and I've got to be a dad and all that stuff, too. Had early mornings. But then last night, I just stay up too late. I stay up late after the game, and I end up watching the post-game press conferences and the highlights like 3 times in a row.
And then the Masked Singer after that.
Oh, yeah, I was really tuned into that. And then I end up going through the playlist, just trying to think about certain situations and plays that jumped out to me. But that was the big thing. And the big thing is this, okay? The best player on the field prevailed. That's really what I look at it. I mean, first, that would be my first thought. Patrick Mahomes is amazing. I don't think there's another quarterback in football that could have won that game against that defense. It was tough sledding all night. I don't think it was necessarily a great game by Patrick Mahomes. I think for his standards, it was like, I've had better. But his I've had better is better than everybody else in football. And that's where he's become special to me. Like, that really is. And it was not easy. I mean, the pass rush was good, as we saw. I mean, he couldn't extend plays and make magic like he did in the divisional and AFC championship game. Now, did he get outside the pocket and make a few plays? Yes. But we didn't see him just take over the game that way. The pocket did collapse. He was athletic enough to get out of some jams that way. There wasn't a whole lot of people open. But there was a lot of big moments, certainly was. And to be down 20-10, okay, with the best defense in football the whole year, and they're built around their pass rush to be up 20-10 in the Super Bowl, and then to pull off a 21-0 run like that at the end of the football game, that to me is just the Chiefs, Mahomes, Andy Reid, the most explosive unit I've ever seen on the offensive side of the ball in my lifetime, to where you can just go, oh, they don't look good. They don't look good. Whoa, they're on fire. Whoa, they're on fire. Whoa, they're on fire. Holy cow, they just scored 21 points, 28 points, whatever it is. They're unreal.
It happened every game of the postseason. So they're 3-0 and coming back in the postseason, 5-0 when trailing by double digits this season. All 3 of their playoff games, trailing by double digits, came back to win all of them by 10-plus points, too. So it wasn't even like they came back and eked it out with a last-second field goal.
Right.
They were able to extend a lead. Did you think it would happen? I mean, because watching that game for 3.5 quarters, I was like, it's not going to happen. This is defense wins championships for the 49ers. I know it's Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I know what he's done in the other playoff games.
Right.
It's not going to happen. And they did keep getting to him. He was flushed out of the pocket. He was
he was never comfortable. The whole night. I just watched the whole film back. He's never comfortable. At no point. No point was the pocket really clean. At no point was I like, oh, wow, receivers are wide open. Hey, there's a few plays, guys are open here and there. And Mahomes he didn't let it rip. He didn't play his best game. You know, the interception, the first one, was horrible. I mean, I don't know, there's no other way to say it. He was frustrated, didn't know where. I think he thought maybe Tyreek Hill might slide into a little hole in the zone. You know, he throws an interception there. The second interception, yeah, he threw the ball 3 feet behind Tyreek Hill. I mean, yeah, you'd like Tyreek Hill maybe.
Were those some of the worst throws you've seen from Mahomes this
Definitely,
year?
yes. Along with, like, even the Tyreek Hill, he caught the ball, then they come back and they overturned it.
Yep.
You know, I mean, he's wide open, you know, but he was being so careful. And I do think even for a guy like Mahomes who's unflappable, I think he was even going, man, I throw another interception and we lose this game, I am going to get labeled as something. I mean, I think he did feel the pressure of the moment to not just let it rip. But when it counted, he did let it rip. And that's where I'm just amazed by them and everything they do in general. But there's a lot of things to unpack about this game. Certain plays, Shanahan's coaching, situations there. I mean, we can go a lot of different ways.
Can we get into that real quick?
All right, let's do it. You lead the way,
I thought of you because we had talked about last time we did the podcast about Kyle last time he was in the Super Bowl. And how he said that, yeah, he would have done things differently in Atlanta. And you placed a lot of blame on Dan Quinn, the head coach at the time, for not – being more assertive and saying, yeah, do run the ball here. But whatever. I think ultimately what happens is if it doesn't work out, we always second guess.
Yes,
right? And that can't be the process.
Yes.
You can't say, well, if it didn't work, it was a bad decision. Because sometimes good decisions don't work out. But he's going to hear the heat because of what happened with Atlanta and the Falcons up 28-3.
Right.
And then here you have the ball with 11 minutes to go up 20-10.
Yes.
And you've got the running game that the 49ers have. Maybe hadn't been featured to the extent that we've seen so far in the postseason.
Right.
But what was it? I think the final 14 plays they ran, I think
it wasn't pretty.
4 of them were running plays. And
yeah.
So you're going to hear the same things again. What do you think? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's fair that he should have pounded that running game more?
All right. Well, so here we go. I mean, all right, first off, this would be my assessment here. I mean, again, all right, this is where I want to make the points. I understand that it's a blown lead, and Shanahan's the one thing we can find with the blown lead. Here's my take on the blown lead. We've had 3, 10-point fourth-quarter leads come back on in the Super Bowl, right? Vanish.
Yep.
They've all been here in the last 5 years. The Seahawks in Super Bowl 49, the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51, and then, of course, yesterday in Super Bowl 54. Now, here's my big thing right off the bat. Common theme, Seattle defensive scheme, all 3 of them. All 3 of them. All the same defensive scheme, right? Because there's no game plan, specific game planning on that defense. It's just, this is what we do when we're talented and we're going to be sound and we're going to play it the right way. That's great. But the offense knows what you're playing too. So they feel very comfortable in those situations as long as they can physically handle the front 4. And what happened in all those games? Front 4s kind of died out late in the fourth quarter, and the quarterbacks took over, just like this one a little bit too. And just before we get into this, because I know we're going to dive in on Shanahan, and I'm not saying I sit here and agree with everything, but at the same time, the 49ers were built to be up 20-10 in the fourth quarter with their defense. Their money, their assets of their team. See, the Chiefs stars showed up in the big moments, their money and their assets. And I know you've heard me say this before, and you're probably like, blah, 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 you're avoiding it. We'll get to Shanahan. But, like, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Kelsey, the money guys, Chris Jones, they showed up. They made all the big plays for the Chiefs. Now here, it's the 49ers up by 10. Their money, their big-time players are Bosa, D. Ford, DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead. Those are their guys. Those are the guys that they are going to have to spend money on. They were top 10 picks, or they're already paying them before, and they didn't come through. Richard Sherman, he's another guy you throw in there. Didn't come through. And the biggest moments of the game, Kansas City Stars did, and San Francisco's didn't. And San Francisco Stars are on their defense. That's where the money of their team is. That's where they're built. Okay? And they didn't come through. Now, to your point with the out there running, I get it. Okay? Now, it's 20-10. They're moving the ball, right? Mahomes is just throwing the interception.
Yep.
They run the ball on first down to make it 2nd and 9. Okay? So, whoa, the run game wasn't bludgeoning because that was a 1-yard run. Kansas City did a very good job in the run game.
I think he ran for 6.
You're talking about the next series.
The first drive.
Yes. It's
so
20,
they get the ball with 11:57 left. You're not talking about that when you're talking about after it was a 3-point
I'm talking
game.
about 20-10 right now. 20-10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, first off, they get the ball there, and George Kittle makes a comment like, hey, we got the ball off a turnover, and we never capitalized,
so
right?
They did. The first play after that, it's a Mostert 6-yard run.
6-yard run.
They go Kittle with a 12-yard reception.
What, they passed it?
Yeah.
Wait, that doesn't count? You're supposed to run it. Oh, no, but we're not going to talk about that because it's a 12-yard game.
And it worked.
Yes, right. So, come on, we can't Monday morning every thing just because there's a commonality between, Shanahan was in Super Bowl 51 and this. So, yeah, he threw it there. He was wrong. He shouldn't have done that. I mean, so, okay, but go ahead. Let's continue.
No, you're right. And then the next series, then they go
First and 10, run.
First and 10, run, 1-yard run.
1-yard run.
And then they go play action incomplete. And here's what I'll say about the play action. Super effective all game, the play action for the 49ers.
Yes.
I mean, it was obvious, right? And they
it
were doing it a lot. There was one stat I saw in the third quarter, up to the third quarter, Garoppolo had used the play action on 60% of his dropbacks, most of any quarterback in a game so far this season. And they were 11-12 for 111 yards and a touchdown. So those were situations where it could have been maybe pass rush. Here, you figure the Chiefs are selling out for the rush. And so, why wouldn't you think the play action would work
there.
again?
Exactly right. Deebo Samuel was there. Garoppolo got pressure and had to throw the ball, and he throws the ball a little high, so then they don't get it. Then Joe Staley jumps off sides, right? And then it becomes 3rd and 14. So there's that drive, okay? All right, so now that was 20-10. They punted away. Now becomes the big moment, yes, where we'll get into all this stuff. Kansas City goes down and scores in 20-17. Now becomes the moment where everybody wants to talk about, right? It's 20-17. Yeah. And people want Shanahan to run the ball on 2nd down because on 1st down he ran the ball for 5 yards, right?
Yep.
I get it. But also within this, I just want to remind everybody, the run game between the tackles was not just dominating here. This was not the Packers game. This was not the Vikings game. The 49ers, all their big runs, Deebo Samuel reverse, Deebo Samuel reverse, Deebo Samuel reverse pass where he scrambled for like 10 or 12 yards. So all their runs really, even from Mostert and Tevin Coleman, for the most part, were on the edge. They were not winning the inside battle.
Yeah, but there's no rule you couldn't have.
No, you're right. Now, if we were going to get onto that, I would go to my friend Kyle Shanahan and go, where were the Deebo Samuel runs in the 4th quarter? Why didn't you just keep calling some of those? If I'm going to be real, that's real. I get it. But I'm not going to sit here and second-guess Shanahan and go, oh, he's stupid. First of all, this is a very smart human being who has rhyme and reason why he does things. And to the point of this, it's 2nd and 5. Hey, anybody go back and watch the play. George Kittle's wide open. It's a game plan design play just to throw to George Kittle. It couldn't be more of a high percentage play. They're faking the bubble screen to the right with Deebo Samuel. George Kittle's coming off like he's going to block for the screen, right? And then goes behind the linebacker. It's a 6-yard throw. Ahmed Reid is going to make the throw for the 1st down. You are. It's that open. But they blocked Chris Jones phenomenally on the play, which ended up really screwing them because Chris Jones then realized, oh, wait, I can't get there. And he started looking at the quarterback, waiting for him to throw the ball. And he's a giant human being. He's 6'6", 315, and he swats it. So now you get him into 3rd down. And they do a good job of pressuring Jimmy G. And again, the next play, now this is where if you want to complain about Jimmy Garoppolo, okay, the next play is a play for George Kittle once again, and he's open, Ahmed.
The 3rd and 5?
The 3rd and 5. He's open. Now, he gets pressure, but I watched the film. He never really looks at Kittle going over the middle. And then the other thing that gets me, too, and just watching the film, the tight ends coach, Emery, all right, who used to be the head coach of Colorado, him on the sidelines, these are context clues, he kind of throws a fit, which tells me, like, I can't believe he didn't just throw to the guy who we designed the play for, who was open on the big 3rd and 5. So there, okay, I'm going to blame Jimmy G. But again, I understand people saying, oh, you want to run the ball. But also at the same time, okay, if this is where I would really argue this. If this is 20-17 and he ran the ball again, and it became 3rd and 5, right? Everyone would go, I mean, that's so predictable. You got to put your foot on the throat with Mahomes. They just scored a touchdown. You got to think they're going to be on fire. They're going to be on fire now. They're rolling. It's the Chiefs. So to me, this is the ultimate Monday morning quarterback,
because you never
quarterback.
Have enough points when you're playing Patrick Mahomes.
No, and he stayed aggressive. But it wasn't like stupid. It wasn't like he was throwing a bomb down the sideline and like, let's just throw a jump ball to Kendrick Bourne and see if we hit it.
Nine-step drop or anything like that.
That's what I mean. It was a smart play.
Yep.
Kansas City's got players too. Last time I checked, they got a few of them. And they made a play there.
And this was part of the question: was Jimmy Garoppolo going to be the guy if the Super Bowl relied on his arm?
Yes.
If you couldn't run the ball as effectively, or if you weren't, was Jimmy Garoppolo the quarterback that could win your team a Super Bowl when you needed him the most?
That's right.
And in this one, he was not.
No, he was not. The Kansas City finally got the game to go, ooh, you got to beat us, Garoppolo, now. No more fancy Shanahan play-action passes because we're not going to go for the run fake because we're winning now. It's 24-20. And you're right. Yes, it's not the bread and butter. It's something we talked about all year long, right? Whether they could really rely on this in the big moments. And that's what's crazy about the NFL. At some point, the weakness of your team is going to be tested. And they found their kryptonite in the Kansas City Chiefs and what they did. And I think that's very fair. Hey, we can talk about again, now, so we have that moment.
Yeah.
What else other moment did Jimmy Garoppolo affect? I think Jimmy Garoppolo affected the fact that Kyle Shanahan didn't call timeouts right away at the end of the first half. I think he's a little scared of them. I think he figured. I think Kyle Shanahan figured, you know what? It's 10-10. My defense is good. I think they're having a hard time moving the ball. He has faith in his own offense and thinking, I'm going to continue to wear them down with my run game, which we've done all year. His quarterback had already thrown a stupid interception in the first half, by the way, which Chris Jones affected as he was hitting Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo throws the interception. So I think that also led to Shanahan being a little conservative at the end of the first half.
Was that where Lynch was up in the press box saying to use your timeouts there?
Yeah, he was calling to call timeout after the third down by Kansas City, but he let it run down.
Yeah.
Which, again, I have no issue there. He's trying to also going, okay, I want a little clock to run down in case we don't get a first down. I don't want to give Mahomes the ball back again so he can go down on some 3-play, 60-yard drive.
Then he opens it up when Kansas City used their timeout, and that led to the pass to the middle.
Exactly right.
Pass to Kittle, which I did think was pass interference.
It was pass interference.
I don't think Kittle. I think the mistake was Kittle. I don't think he needed to do that.
I don't think he did either. I think you're exactly right. I think if he keeps his hands by him and just maybe gives just a little, elbow shrug or whatever just to keep the guy off him.
He had separation.
He had separation, and the throw was out there. It wasn't like he had to do that. Agreed. Yeah. And people, I hear a few people going, well, that wasn't even as egregious as Kyle Rudolph pushing off, in the Vikings-Saints game. No, the difference is, though, in the Vikings-Saints game, that the defender, and I believe it was P.J. Williams, initiated contact with Kyle Rudolph. He was holding him first, which led to Kyle Rudolph pushing, and I think that's why the NFL made no call. This was one where Sorensen was in good position. Yes, he was beat by a step, but then Kittle used his physical power to make himself even more open and not let Sorensen even make a play on the ball, and I do agree. That was
it the worst pass interference you've seen? No. But it wasn't pass interference by the letter of the law? Yeah,
it was.
You did.
Exactly right.
He pushed off.
Exactly right.
So you got through some big plays there.
Yeah.
And I do. Let's go into a little bit deeper dive on the 3rd and 15.
Right.
Because I think that was where you're down. You're Kansas City. You're down 10. You just had that big catch by Hill overturned.
Right.
By Kyle Shanahan. Good challenge there. So now it's 3rd down and 15. And this might be the game, right? If you don't get it here, you have to punt because you're not going to get 4th and 15 or I don't know. You gotta make a play here. So
again, all right, just so again here now, this is where we got to think about this here. It's 20-10. It's 3rd and 15.
Yep.
The Niners have 5 first-round D linemen. This is the moment of the game where they're supposed to come through. The defense is in a total power advantage. And we can talk about Shanahan's game plan, timeouts, running, all you want. But here it is. The game is set up on the platter I promise you, everybody on the 49ers defense, if somebody was in a team meeting back in August and said, hey, we got 3rd and 15, we're up 20-10, will you take it right now in the Super Bowl? They would have been like, let's do it, we got it, yes, we got it, we'll take it. Okay, and they don't get it done. They don't make the stop. And now we can talk into the play. Go ahead, what else did you want to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
The win probability at that point.
96?
96.1%.
Right.
49ers to win. So you're right. I mean, by the numbers, that you run that play, you're in that situation 100 times, you win 96.
Right.
You're the 49ers, it might even be higher than that because it doesn't really adjust for the strength of your defense.
Now, does it adjust to who's the quarterback in and Patrick Mahomes? See, this is where analytics, I will always fight back a little bit to go,
you hate the
that's
numbers.
great.
You hate the numbers.
I like the numbers to take in some evidence and gather information. It's not an end-all, be-all. Do the numbers, like you said, take into account of certain things, right? Does the numbers, can they calculate Tyreek Hill and Mahomes being on the field and being the two most talented people maybe at their positions in the sport? No, they don't. So
and their current condition in the game, you never know that too,
exactly
right? Playing with something.
Exactly right.
So not to give it away if you've DVR'd it and you don't want to know the result, but they converted on 3rd and 15, 44 yards. To Hill, it was it was beautiful if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan.
It was.
Got you right back in the game. So let's hear, before we get into that play a little bit more, let's hear Peter King caught up with Patrick Mahomes after the game, talking about that 3rd and 15 conversion.
On the 3rd and 15, on the sidelines, at some point in the second half, you said to Andy and to Mike Kafka, I want to run that play again that we ran in the first half?
Yeah, it was a play that went right off the one that we had, and so I just wanted to run it to get it out there and give Tyreek a chance to make a play. And how they were playing, how the safety was robbing, I knew Kels would take that guy, and it'd be Tyreek one-on-one with the safety. So we went to it, and it worked out.
That was with Peter King. Of course, you can download the Peter King podcast wherever you get your podcasts, NBCSports.com/podcast. And I always recommend that because Peter always talks to the most important people.
Well, I mean, he's talking to Patrick Mahomes right after he just won the Super Bowl MVP.
If you needed any more evidence,
if he's got him on his podcast, this just in, he's kind of a big deal.
So, what'd you think when you heard Patrick describe it? What they were thinking?
Well, it was really cool. I mean, one that he had asked for that play. I mean, it just, again, shows that this kid's got knowledge. This is more than just talent. He's got everything you want to be a quarterback. I mean, we know that. But, this is one of those, Ahmed, where I would look at it and I go, how many times you've heard me say how Shanahan attacks rules within a scheme, right? Shanahan's famous for attacking rules within a scheme. Well, this was a play that attacked the rules of the Seattle scheme. And I don't know if you can sit here and blame any one person on the 49ers defense and go, oh, they messed up. No, I think this is a offensive play caller who's got some talent who drew up a play where this scheme's going to have a hard time covering this play. All right. And within that, just to explain it, again, the 49ers are playing the cover 3 match, Seattle scheme. Right. And within that, Mosley is the corner to the left side. And if you're just thinking cover 3, okay, Sherman's got 1/3. Jimmy Ward has the 3rd down the middle. And Mosley has the 3rd down the left side. But Mosley, and anybody wants to see this, check out my at Sims Unbuttoned Instagram, okay? Because I put this play out on social media and I did teach it a little bit. The rules for the cover 3 match, hence the word match, is when somebody is in your zone, sometimes you match him up. Okay, you match him, and it becomes almost man principles. So within this, Mosley is backing off, and he's looking inside, and he's looking at the 2 receivers inside. Now, the 2 receivers inside are Kelsey and Hill. He sees them running across the field in the opposite direction. Their rules within this scheme usually are that now he can match his receiver if he makes an inside breaking route because he's thinking, I have no threat that's going to come back to my 3rd and cover 3, right? Yeah. Does that make sense? Am I making sense with that?
He did have a threat, though. It ended up being Tyreek Hill.
He did, but he's never seen a threat where the guy decides to run an out route after he's 25 and 30 yards down the field.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. He does. And this is probably the first time all year he's really had to deal with something like that, let alone his defensive line not getting there to let a play that long to develop. All right, and then let alone having a quarterback who could throw the ball 50 yards off his back foot and just be like, ho-hum, first down. So It was brilliant game planning, nice timing of the play call, and then the execution of all that. I can't sit here and blame one certain player.
And it put Jimmy Ward in an impossible
situation
spot. Because at that point, Hill could break towards the post, and then you might be screwed. Break towards the flag, which he did, and he was screwed.
He was screwed, right.
It's like either way, Jimmy Ward's trying to cover the fastest guy in the world.
Football.
With a full head of steam,
right.
Running 20, 30 yards down the field.
Exactly right. So he's worried about him running that continued deep cross post route, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And yes, this is the fastest guy maybe we've ever seen in football, not named Deion Sanders. And I would say it would be a great race between those two. He might be the fastest player ever. And yes, because of that skill and talent and the aggressive play call, yes, Jimmy Ward was in a tough spot. Now, you know, could I say that Jimmy Ward maybe overplayed it a little too far over there? Yes, because Richard Sherman has no threat in his deep third, and he could have maybe passed it off to him to where Jimmy Ward's not so aggressively caught on that backside of the play so far there. But either way, like I said, it attacked the rules within the scheme, and that's really what happened there. And then it's just amazing, because then it's just like, holy cow, it's one play for them, and it just gets them jump-started, and then here you go.
The funny thing is, if you go by the math again, after that play,
right.
you know, it was 96% win for the 49ers before that play.
Right.
After that play, it was still 83% for the 49ers. So it wasn't like that play totally, it's like it's game over.
Right.
No, it's like still more times than not, the 49ers are going to win, but then you get the next play, the pass interference on Moore.
Yes.
And then very next play, Mahomes rolling and throwing to Kelsey, and then it's a 3-point game. And then the pressure amps up on the 49ers.
Exactly.
And they have their first 3 and out of the ball game.
Right.
So, and it goes back to your point on the 49ers offense. When it mattered the most in the Super Bowl, could they do what they have done all season long and milk some clock or get some first downs and play action pass? And they couldn't do it.
No, they couldn't do it. You know, the Chiefs defense played big when it had to, and same with their offense. So then, yeah, the 49ers, you know, punt the ball out. Okay, then the Chiefs get the ball back. Mahomes makes a great play on first down. Right, he has like Nick Bosa hanging on his shoulder, and then he finds Kelsey over the middle, which is just unbelievable there. Then I believe they run the ball on first down again because they just got a first down. They make it 2nd and 7, and then he throws the go route to Sammy Watkins down the right sideline. You know, something that you've heard me say, this is where one thing annoyed me about Kansas City's game plan yesterday, didn't throw the ball outside the numbers, really didn't take enough shots, in my opinion, to back off the 49ers defense, but nonetheless, they took it when it counted, and Sammy Watkins beats Richard Sherman off the line and runs by him, and Mahomes throws another perfect pass. And then you're going, whoa, okay, I thought maybe they could get in a field goal position and tie this thing up. Whoa, now they're going to win. I mean, I don't know how you felt, but when he threw that throw, I just went, I didn't want to say they're going to win, but I was going, they're going to go down and score a touchdown.
You know what I thought? I thought, you know, thank God that Kyle didn't run the ball because he'll at least have some time.
He'll have more time. You're funny.
After the Chiefs scored here.
Right. Good thing he didn't run the ball now. Right.
Thank God, right?
Right.
You left yourself some time.
Right.
Yeah, that 38-yard gain to Watkins again. I was looking at that play a little bit more because that really was the key play leading to the go-ahead touchdown in the Super Bowl. The 49ers set a defensive back that time, Quan Williams, and then Ward rolled to the middle of the field, and then Watkins just ended up one-on-one with Richard Sherman. And
exactly.
What do you think of Richard Sherman? Because all season long, he had one of his better seasons ever. And you never know, right? Some of it, you say the scheme is fairly cookie cutter for what Robert Saleh runs there. But you never know if it's, is that Sherman? Is that the scheme? Is that the way they're playing it? Is that Tart helping out? Is it Ward? But for whatever Sherman had statistically one of his best seasons ever, you get to the Super Bowl and he had his worst game.
Yeah.
It's not like he just all of a sudden got slow in the Super Bowl. You see first 17 games, receptions allowed per game, 2. In the Super Bowl, 5. And they were all 5 thrown his way. So it was 100% completion percentage, 72 yards given up, that quarterback rating, so much more than it was in the regular season. Richard Sherman, is he culpable for the comeback here for Kansas City?
Well, I'm not going to sit here and look at again, this is a different animal he was playing. He's playing an offensive line that can protect a little bit, right? And he's playing a quarterback who certainly can throw it wherever he wants, and receivers that are dangerous. Other than that play, I'm not going to sit there and look at any other play of Richard Sherman and go, ooh, that was a bad day. Yeah, some of those plays that he had completed on him were underneath throws where, he's backing off because he's guarding Tyreek Hill, who's got 3 rockets up his ass. So he's worried about him running by. So, he throws the ball 6 yards to Tyreek Hill, who then runs up and gets 11 yards. Or another time he get 7 or 8 yards. So, hey, that's some give and take. So listen, Richard Sherman's still a good player. Richard Sherman is not one of the 10 best corners in football, all right? That I just want everybody to know that. No. And he's not a kind of guy that is made to be on an island. As you can see there, that's not his strength. Watkins get off the line of scrimmage. He can't run with people like that. That's not what he is. He's an awesome first ballot Hall of Fame corner. He's a perfect fit for the scheme they run there, and he's been also the benefactor this year of a great pass rush where the quarterback doesn't get to hold the ball a whole lot either. So a good player. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but to think he's like a shutdown island, one of the 5 or 10 best corners in football, no, I would disagree with that sentiment.
He doesn't have Sherman Island, is what you're saying?
He doesn't have Sherman Island.
Unlike Revis Island. So Darrelle Revis
let me hear this,
was on Twitter the week before after Sherman got beat by, or 2 weeks ago when he got beat by Devontae Adams, and then yesterday he just tweeted, "Are y'all waiting for the flame?" Fire emoji, smile, smile, smile. So everyone was waiting for him to crush Richard Sherman, who he's been very critical about. Because I think,
Sherman needs to be critical of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And he's saying he's nowhere near what I was in my prime.
Yeah.
Probably true. I mean, Revis was really good.
Yes, Revis is really special. Richard Sherman is awesome, and like I said, a first ballot Hall of Famer. From what I've seen in my life to this point, Darrelle Revis went through a 6 or 7 year period where I've seen nobody like him other than Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
You can literally just go, you got him, and we'll do everything else with the other guys, but we just know you got him. And that's really rare, and that's a lot of pressure. And statistics are never going to really tell how great Darrelle Revis was.
And when you were that great, then you can tweet about it for the rest of your life, really.
Yeah,
when you proved it, you can tweet about it.
Yes, you can.
Can I ask you about a couple more plays?
No,
the final 2 plays.
Can't ask me.
Of the okay, good night, everyone. About the 49ers' final 2 plays of their season.
Sure.
And I don't know if you want to bring up the film on it because
let's do it.
3rd and 10 and 4th and 10. Here they're trying to come back. They're down 4. They need to rely on Jimmy Garoppolo, so they do on the two passes here. George Kittle, and we saw it in the Saints game when they had to win in New Orleans, and they did, and they went to George Kittle late, and he's just bowling over people.
Right.
Is George Kittle running routes here? Of course, one of them you have that deep throw.
So that's the third. You want to see those 2 plays, right?
3rd and 10, 4th and 10.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, boy, this is Kittle, a player who some people have said maybe he's the MVP of the NFL.
Right.
If the MVP award wasn't just a total quarterback award, maybe it goes to George Kittle. I thought we'd see him featured. But did he stay in and block on both of those plays, or what was it?
He did. He stayed in the backfield and blocked. So let's go through the sequence. First down, right? First down, Garoppolo's going to throw an under route to Deebo Samuel. Guess who? Chris Jones, once again. Pass deflected, knocks the ball. So now it's 2nd and 10, right? And you're going, oh, okay, 2nd and 10. Hey, great coaching here by the Kansas City Chiefs. 2nd and 10. There's 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Mm-hmm. It's everybody running a slant route, and Spagnuolo is ready as something we've talked about, Ahmed. The 49ers like to throw the ball over the middle, and they're ready. Look, I mean, Tyrann Mathieu's ready for if it's an inside slant to the left by Kittle. And then Kendall Fuller, the other safety, is reading Kendrick Bourne on the slot to the right, and he almost intercepts it, right? Undercuts it. They are ready for something inside there, right? You see how they lined up. Now, to get to your 3rd and 10 play, you're exactly right. Kittle is in the block. Kittle ends up going into the backfield, and they get in like a 2-back. So now it's Mostert to the left of Garoppolo, Kittle to the right. You know, I think they're worried about, they might blitz. Let's get an extra guy here to give us a little flexibility and protection if we want to do that. So I get that. Now,
and he had Sanders open down the field, and he had Kendrick Bourne, if you look at it, too, open over the middle for a first down.
He did. And within this, they're trying to double, okay? They're doubling players here. They're doubling Deebo Samuel on the back end, and they're doubling Kendrick Bourne. They're doubling him. And Bourne runs right through the double. Now, you can't fault Jimmy Garoppolo for making this throw.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sanders threw the double on the outside.
Yeah, Sanders threw the double on the outside. And to what you're saying, yes, there's a receiver over the middle.
That's Bourne.
That's Bourne, who is open. He's got man-to-man coverage, and he's open. But Garoppolo's already alerted to the fact that, this is a look where I'm going to have my post route over the top. And he puts it up. And Emmanuel Sanders is running through the double coverage of Charvarius Ward and Fenton, number 27, and he just overthrows him. Hey, so again, we can't play Kyle Shanahan there. That was a good play call. They're protected. Somebody's wide open. There's 2 people wide open, actually. You said it, the guy over the middle and the post route. Now, your $27.5 million quarterback has to deliver. Well, he didn't deliver. That was the question we had. Will he deliver in these moments when it really counts? Okay, well, this was the one moment that really, really counted, and he didn't deliver right there. So he misses that. Then it gets to 3rd and 10.
4th and 10.
4th and 10, excuse me. Way to go. Keep my ass me.
Is Spagnuolo, is he sending the pressure? One, because he wants to pressure Jimmy Garoppolo, but is part of the mindset, too, is that maybe it keeps George Kittle in to block?
I think in this case, especially in 4th down, I think he does. I think he blitzes the guy to exactly right, just to go, let's just blitz him so we don't have to worry about Kittle if they get in this formation. And I think they had specific checks and coverages they were going to get into, Spagnuolo and the Kansas City defense, when they got into this formation. Because what happens again is they end up doubling people once again. And this is what I like about Spags. You know, Spags, as compared to what I've said about the 49ers defense, he does things where it's 3rd and 10, 4th and 10. You don't know what the I'm going to do. I'm going to do something that you don't know. And I'm going to double people and take people away, where the 49ers just decided to go, this is what we do. We're just going to play what we play. Okay, well, they know what you played, and they hit a 50-yard bomb on 3rd and 15. You didn't know what they were going to play, and it caused chaos for your offense. So now Garoppolo gets the ball off just in time, and yes, the Chiefs bring 6. And it's not even an aggressive 6, right? You see Sorensen, right? Look, he's just coming just to make sure Kittle blocks him, to your point.
Yeah, so
it's not like a real blitz.
Right.
It's almost like, hey, I'm just going to come at you because I don't want you to run some trick thing off of me, too, and run up down the field. But I'm also going to take you up to where you're not going to be part of the read. And then they're also sending 5 other guys along with it that are pushing the pocket. And the 49ers, you know, they had some problems with these guys up front. Yeah. So
I just thought that was unfortunate, right? Your season's on the line, final play of the season.
Yes.
George Kittle was not running around.
Yep, that's blocking. Right. And it's 3rd and 10, and it's 4th and 10. So
10.
you need time to think, hey, your quarterback's going to need a little extra beat here to make something happen.
That makes sense.
And again, Ahmed, they double. So look what they do again here. They double on the left side is Emmanuel Sanders, Tyrone Matthew and Ward are doubling him. All right? And then they bracket the guy over the middle this time, which is Kendrick Bourne, the guy who you said was open on the play before. Look, Breeland and Fuller in and out him, right?
Yeah.
And now there's really nowhere for Garoppolo to throw the ball, and he's also going, oh, no, I don't know what this coverage is. What do I do? And the pocket collapsed, and that is that.
A lot of credit to Spags. It was a defense at the beginning of the year.
Right.
People are saying, wow, the Chiefs are going to have to score 50 every game because this defense just is not good enough. And you were very critical as well. You said, bring the pressure.
Yes.
Because don't be we'll give up 8 yards a chunk, 8 yards, and boom, it's like take some chances. You might give up the 50-yard play, which they could have on 3rd and 10 because Sanders was open for the 50-yard play, but you also put the offense in some difficult situations.
You put them in difficult situations. You don't know what to expect. And they got better as the year went on, right, with run defense and everything. And we saw it. This is the best running team in football. And they ran the ball good, but not to what they've been doing to teams lately. I mean, Mozart ran for 230 yards by himself 2 weeks ago. You know, the Chiefs outrushed the San Francisco 49ers. That was not supposed to happen. That was not supposed to be one of our final stats. You know, I know statistically the 49ers had a few more yards in the run game. That was because the Chiefs took 15-yard losses in kneeling the ball down at the end of the game, right? It was 141 to 129. Realistically, it was 144 to 141. The team that can't run the ball ran the ball better than the team that was the best running team in football. So that tells you a little something. Andy Reid went outside the box with being a little more patient and deliberate that way. And then,
and they were aggressive.
Andy Reid, to your point, though, about the defense and Spags, that's another call we got to talk about. I mean, him firing Bob Sutton after last year and making a defensive coordinator change gave them just enough boost to what they needed to win a Super Bowl. And that's a big-time move by Andy Reid, and he deserves a lot of credit for that, too.
And I think I follow a lot of people from the Bay Area on Twitter still from my time out there. And that was the one saving grace for most people that were in pain after the 49ers blew the lead.
Andy Reid?
Andy Reid won it.
No doubt.
You could at least feel good.
It got me, too.
That Andy Reid won because it seems like of all the coaches, I've talked about this before with you, and I think it was almost not disrespectful, but to call him, he's the greatest coach never to win a Super Bowl. he's one of the greatest coaches in the NFL.
Yes.
He's done it with multiple teams, multiple quarterbacks, multiple ways. And so now that he's won a Super Bowl, I think he's one of the best coaches to have won a Super Bowl. I think he's still up the rankings.
He's still
there.
up, and it ain't over. I mean, they're set up to be, they ain't going anywhere. I mean, they're not. He's not retiring with that quarterback in the prime. I mean, damn, he hasn't even reached his prime, and they already won a Super Bowl. And that's where it's scary. This is where, to me, this is the formula that can kick off truly superstar greatness. I'll say it, Montana, Bradshaw, Brady, they won Super Bowls in those early years. It takes the pressure off to where he's answered the bell in the biggest moments. He's going to be, in his mind, he's unconquerable now. It's like Brady went down against the Rams late in the game, scored the touch. Unconquerable. I'm the f***ing man. Joe Montana won a Super Bowl in '81, his third year as a starter. Terry Bradshaw might have been like year 4 or 5. But either way, it sets you up for greatness, and the pressure's off the situation to where if they get there again, they're not going to blink about anything. And Mahomes is going to be more confident than ever, knowing he can just overcome anything. It doesn't matter. Damn, I came back from 20-10 against like the fearsome foursome there is Russian. I mean, this is what sets up for the ability for true greatness, maybe even a dynasty. This is kind of the formula that past dynasties kind of showed me.
Which is even more worrying if you're a 49ers fan, because the opposite is true with Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan now. I mean, they've gotten to this point, and now next time they might feel a little more pressure if the same situation comes up.
Yeah, well, the pressure, yes, it's going to be on. I mean, listen, my buddy Kyle Shanahan's going to have to deal with the narrative of blowing fourth quarter leads in the Super Bowl now. Fair or not fair as it might be, that's going to be the narrative. And it's not fair. That's stupid. But, that's going to be an issue. And you're right, Jimmy Garoppolo, and can he deliver in the big moments? Listen, I know people out there, Jimmy Garoppolo is not one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. He's not going to be next year either. So just get over it. You can win a Super Bowl with them. They were up 20-7 with 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 20-10. Sorry. 20-10 with 6 minutes left. Their defense didn't come through. Yes, did he not come through as well? Sure. He could have done a little bit better. There's no doubt about it. But I'm not going to just sit here and go, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo is the issue. They'll never win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. No, I don't feel that way at all. They've just played a team that matched up pretty well with them, and a team that's magical and just unflappable. And that's where Kansas City is special.
I want to do our damn okays here in just 1 second, but you brought up by 10 with less than 7 minutes to go. So in the NFL this year, teams were 164-2 this year when leading by 10 points with less than 7 minutes to go. The 2 losses are the Super Bowl that we just saw.
Right.
The other one was Week 15 in the final game in Oakland for the Raiders versus the Jaguars. The Bay Area got both of them. Both were significant.
Bam.
The final game in Oakland for the Raiders and the Super Bowl for the 49ers.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
That's a painful.
Yeah, that's a painful last few weeks for the Bay Area.
Ouch.
Sorry. Ouch.
Okay,
right.
You want to do damn okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Damn. I'm okay. Damn. I'm okay. Yeah, no, yes, I'm okay. The legal gambleizing. Oh, baby. I am Chris Sims. I'm okay. Damn. Okay.
You mentioned the running game for the Chiefs, so we got to give a damn okay to Damien Williams.
Yes.
Over 100 yards, who I think had a good case. You're never going to beat the quarterback, but could have been the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad, but, hey, let's not forget, 38 of those were, the last play of the game, right? And the dirty work had already been done for the comeback.
All postseason long, though, he was very good. He had 6 touchdowns this postseason.
He is a dual-thread running back who can run with some power, and as you can see, can catch the ball. And if he gets out in the open, he can go. He does. He is really a nice football player, and I just can't say enough about Andy Reid and what he did. Just staying patient with the run game, helping his own defense out so they don't get worn out by the Shanahan run game. Staying patient to be able to wear the 49ers defensive line out to where they just didn't get to think about, oh, we get to rush Mahomes every play. He made them think about a running game. Andy Reid got out of his comfort box, and I think part of the confidence in doing that is because he does have a good running back in Damien Williams.
I didn't even know that Andy Reid had a comfort box.
Yeah, right. I mean,
did he? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Just climbs in it every once in a while.
I mean, yeah. Well, when he's throwing it deep, that's his comfort box. That's when he's in it. He's like, oh, this is great.
Who would you have given if you said you can't give it to Mahomes, you got to give the MVP to someone else? Would it have been Williams? Someone else maybe. Hill, Watkins, Chris Jones.
I mean, that's a good one. You're right. If Mahomes doesn't get it, who would I go with? I really think in my heart of hearts, Chris Jones made some of the biggest plays of the game. Now, that's me, Johnny Football.
2 batted away passes.
2 batted away passes. A number of pressures. All right.
Yeah.
He is the first interception was Chris Jones. He hit Garoppolo as he was throwing it, and Brashad Breeland caught it. Some of those, even some other plays where he got his hands in the way or pushed the pocket into Jimmy Garoppolo. He is phenomenal, and he's caused issues for that 49ers. To me, he was the second most impressive guy on the field other than Mahomes. He was. That would be the guy I would look at. Yes, I would. That would have been my vote to go there after that. It would have.
Tip of the cap, too, to Kendall Fuller, who I was reading out there was nearly perfect on the 6 targets in coverage as the nearest defender.
Played really well,
Played well.
Got the interception at the end to seal it. Good for him.
Sammy Watkins, we've mentioned. I don't know if we showed the numbers for Sammy Watkins, though, but this postseason, he was back. He had some really big games. You see what he did.
Huge.
Week 1, he had 198 yards. And then weeks 2 through 17, the average was 37.
It's insane.
Then you get to the playoffs and you get 76, 114, and then 98 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was banged up a lot during the year. It just tells you again, Kansas City is special when it's him, Hill, Kelsey, and of course Mahomes. When Mahomes has those 3 weapons at his disposal, it's very hard to match up with everybody. When you do want to play man-to-man in a big situation, it's 2nd and 7. Oh, damn, Richard Sherman's on Sammy Watkins. Damn. You just feel like one of those 3 guys is going to win in big moments, and they usually do, and Mahomes usually finds them.
Frank Clark,
man,
really good in the 4th quarter, 5 sacks in the playoffs, most since Von Miller in 2015.
Yeah, Frank Clark, really came on towards the end of the season. He plays really good against the run. He's a complete defensive end, and pressured the quarterback a little. I didn't, again, I'm not going to sit here and look at it and go, oh gosh, he was dominating. A lot of it was a little bit of a scheme and coverage and guys running stunts to where he got in that way. But either way, I think between him and Chris Jones having those 2 difference makers up front for the Chiefs, and then Tyrann Mathieu in the back end this year, those were game changing. 2 of those are game changing transactions, and Mathieu and Clark, and then Chris Jones just being a superstar that was there already is just a difference maker.
And Clark was really good in the post-game interview, too, with Chris Myers on the field. Did you hear that?
Oh, I did. Was that where he shit on Jimmy G again?
He may have. I don't know. He may
well,
have.
to me, he's made some comments about Jimmy G leading up to the game. I know he made another comment after the game last night about the guy making, and, I had some people here in NBC like, why is Frank Clark doing that? And I said, Jimmy Garoppolo would fold, he would go into the category of quarterback contract that pisses defensive players off because they sit there and they go the game and they go, damn, Jimmy Garoppolo's making 6 times more than Chris Jones? He's 6 Chris Joneses? What? He's 2 Sammy Watkins? You're telling me? And then those are the contracts where if you want to know why players hate the quarterback sometimes, it's those kind of things. Frank Clark's going, what? Jimmy Garoppolo's making, $12 million more a year than me? And where I'm top of my position, and this guy is, league average at his position, and that's why I think he continues to shit on him after the game is over.
And another damn okay to Nick Bosa again. You mentioned him already.
He's just a freak.
Is this right? PFF said 12 quarterback pressures in the game for Nick Bosa. That ties the most by any defender in a game this season.
It's insane. I've been saying it for the last 6-7 weeks. He's already one of the best defensive players in football. Rookie, not, whatever. He could have been in the voting with Stephon Gilmore for Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. He's that special. And you know what else is special? That Kansas City could win with a stat line like that. That's why, again, I go back to the comment I said to start the show here. No other quarterback in football is winning this game. There's nobody. There's nobody going to win this game unless 15 was under the center. Everything about it. read even some of the cool game design plays, you know, with the options and the fake the pitch and I keep the ball and all those things. Hey, that was a great job. But, you know, again, that's Mahomes' ability to be crafty with the football and just, you know, again, I know other guys are just as athletic as he is and can do that, but this guy just brings so much to the table and so many different areas, let alone just the calmness and ability to make plays when pass protection's breaking down. Or, oh, man, they're all over me. Wow, he still got a completion. Oh, man, they're all over me. Got out of the pocket and got a 5-yard gain, and there was nothing. I mean, those little plays, just they go overlooked, but they're great, and they keep a team in good positions.
And you said something there that reminded me that I want to say. I want to give credit to both coaches because I think they took chances in the biggest game of the year with the most eyes on them.
Right.
You know, you have the Chiefs and Andy Reid who go for 4th and 1 twice in the first half. You know, where you wouldn't argue if they took a field goal and took the points early in the game, but he went for it and it paid off with a touchdown on that one drive. I loved that play where they all did the pirouette, like the 360 pirouette.
Yeah.
My dad was watching that play, old football coach.
When they snapped it to Damien Williams on the 4th and 1? Or,
4th and 1 down by they all kind of did a 360 and then shifted and my dad said it was an old single wing play. My dad was a high school coach who coached the wing T, so he respected
Says the old
play.
wing T. Sure, I used to play against that a lot in
Eric
Jersey
Bieniemy
football.
said that they're watching the Rose Bowl from like 1959 or something, or 1948.
And that's where they got it from?
Michigan versus USC.
Wow.
Someone found the video, and it was the same thing. They all shifted over, direct snap to one of the running backs, misdirection. So it was cool. It was cool. And then you had Kyle. There was the end arounds to Debo that were very creative.
Right.
One, I think, was designed to be a pass back. Oh,
yes,
bless you.
it was.
Pass back to Jimmy Garoppolo. So I give him both credit because in the biggest game with the most eyes, sometimes you get in a shell and you get conservative. It seemed like they were going for it.
Yeah, they were going for it. I think the only time you can look at Shanahan and go he was in a little shell would be right at the end of the first half. And I understand that. That wasn't, you know, hey, he just got burned in the divisional playoff game where he was about to go in with a big lead against the Minnesota Vikings, and guess what happened at the end of the first half in the divisional playoff game? Jimmy G threw an interception. And what happened? The Vikings ended up kicking a field goal, and I believe making it a 17-10 game or whatever. So I think he looked at it and just said, you know what? I believe in my run game. I believe in my defense. I'm not going to let my quarterback do something stupid and let Patrick Mahomes catch on fire. And I think that's what he played to. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. But other than that, you're right. Aggressive. It was a lot of fun to watch. And really at 20-10 after the interception by Mahomes, I thought the game was over.
Yeah.
I thought it was over. I mean, my little boy who was rooting for Patrick Mahomes, right?
Oh, no.
My little boy all year long has been like, hey, Dad, it's really cool. We know the coach of the 49ers. It's really cool to say I know them. They're the best team in football, and I know. The game started yesterday, and he was like, going crazy. And I'm like, wait, are you rooting for the Chiefs? Yes, I love Mahomes. He was like, suck it. Yes, go Mahomes, go Mahomes. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And after he threw that interception, man, my little boy started crying and left the room. And I said, dude, I said, get your ass back in here. The game's not over, and don't be a little baby. It's not easy always.
Oh, that's tough parenting.
Yeah, I did. I don't have none of that crap here.
I tweeted, like half joking but half not, when after that interception, I go, will the Chiefs get the ball back with 11:57?
I mean, I thought the game was over. I can tell you that.
You run the ball, you get a few first downs, you take the full 40 each time. I was like, I don't know. Maybe they get the ball back with 2 minutes left, down 2 scores.
Right.
So let me ask you this real quick.
Right.
Say in a world, we saw Tom Brady in the Super Bowl commercial yesterday, right? He's still going to play football. We don't know where, right?
Yeah.
If you had one season next year, you have this current 49ers team with a great defense and the weapons around, the good running game, would this team do better in 2020 with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, or Tom Brady goes back to the Bay Area and quarterbacks the 49ers? Which team finishes with a better record? A Tom Brady quarterback 2020 49ers or Jimmy G?
I mean, it's close. All right, so I don't think either one of these guys are like in the top 15 in football, quarterback.
You're not high on either one of them.
No, so I'm not, these both go in the list of like somewhere between 15 and 22 as far as quarterbacks in football. Brady will bring things to the table like, yes, he'll be a better down-the-field thrower than Garoppolo and things like that. Now, Garoppolo also will make more plays and throws with trash and pressure around him than Brady will at this time. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think that San Francisco would be markedly better with Tom Brady, let alone, like, Brady can't run bootlegs. They don't run bootlegs in New England for a reason, because Brady's not good at it. His MO was not on the run, throwing balls to use check in the flat and doing that stuff. So that would be an element that would be lost in that offense. So I'm going to tell you that, no, they're fine with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay. They're fine.
They're fine. Yeah. Listen, yes.
They're fine.
They're fine. They were up 20-10 with 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Jimmy Garoppolo is not a world beater. He's not one of the 5 best, 10 best quarterbacks in football.
He could get better.
He could get better. And he'll continue to learn this offense. Hey, this is his first full year as a starter.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that either. This team is set up to make a run, too, and I don't think they're going to be going anywhere anytime soon either.
Can we play a game?
Let's play a game.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
I want to know if you actually could have seen this happening, or if you're like, man, if you would have told me that, no, I would not have ever guessed that. Kansas City has 7 more rushing attempts than the 49ers.
Never. Absolutely never would have guessed that. That's with the F word, that really solidifies it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense, but that's what happened.
That's what happened.
29-22.
Right.
Who would have guessed that the Chiefs would win the time of possession by 7 minutes?
Never. Would have never guessed that either. To me, I was just going, man, Chiefs, just don't lose it 38-21 if you want to win the game, or 38-20. You know what I mean? That would have been my, as long as they're not totally blown out in time of possession, they'll have a chance to win the game. Would have never thought they would have won the time of possession.
Would you have guessed that Garoppolo would end up with more yards per attempt than Patrick Mahomes, which he did, 7 to 6.8?
Wow. No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have.
I might have to check that.
That's that's where I don't like yards per attempt. When, I've written in my notes here that literally we were into the third quarter without Jimmy G having to throw a ball more than 5 yards. He was at one point
a lot of yak.
He was 17 for 19, and every throw was 5 yards right in front of his face, right over the middle.
Yeah.
Or it was use check right in the flat off of some great Shanahan design run play, right? So that's where yards per attempt. I don't like that stat. I'm more of a yards per completion type of guy.
Or even
and I wonder where that would have
air yards downfield.
Or air yards downfield. Or well, they are. That says something about what your offense is doing, the degree of difficulty that your quarterback's being asked to make happen, and also within that the pressure that's being put on the defense because you're throwing the ball down the field too. So, but I wouldn't have guessed that. I still wouldn't have.
Would you have guessed that the leading rusher in the game would be Damien Williams? Probably not.
No, probably not. No, definitely not.
Mostert was the highest for the 49ers with 58.
Yep.
Would you have guessed that Kansas City's 3 leading receivers in the game would all have more yards than the 49ers leading receiver?
Yeah, I think I would have guessed that one. Yes, I would have thought that way. I can't lie on that one. That's one, but that's the first one out of all the ones you said so far that I would have said, yeah, okay, I would have been on that one.
Hill had 105, Watkins 98, Kelsey 43, and then Kendrick Bourne led the 49ers with 42.
Right. Well, that was, to me, another thing in this game. Like, the 49ers were one of the most explosive teams in football all year, of ripping off 20-plus yard runs and passes.
Yeah.
There was only 3 of them in this game. That goes, again, to the great job Kansas City did. Kansas City made the 49ers earn it. They didn't let them run, like we saw in the Green Bay NFC Championship. Run for 25, run for 27, run for 4, run for 4, run for 27. You didn't see any of that in this game, and that there is something to be said about that.
Final one. Who would have guessed that Mahomes would have 2 INTs in the game?
Right, and still won?
And still won.
Right.
First time he's had multiple interceptions since that Monday Night Football game between the Rams and Chiefs. Remember that last year?
Yeah, right.
That shootout where they threw probably 100 times in the game.
Dude,
but it happened.
He is insane.
He's good.
In the membrane.
He's good.
To win the Super Bowl 31-20 and not have played your best game against the best defense in football.
For 3.5 quarters, you're playing not very well.
It just speaks to how awesome he is. Because that's what's scary. And, he's amazing, and he's the best player in the sport.
Requiem for a team. I'm absolving the 49ers for the week. They're just too down. They can't take it. I don't want to pile on.
You're such a homer. I don't want to pile on. I can't believe you're chickening out. What, you don't want to mess up? You don't want to hurt your Bay Area friends?
My relationships, yeah. Yes. I got relationships there, and I can't speak ill of them.
Okay.
In that way.
Yes.
I can't joke them.
They don't need your requiem for a team somber music.
I'll tell you what, if we get one tweet of one person who's like, I actually was enjoying Requiem, and Ahmed, would you do it for the 49ers? I will do it.
Okay.
We need at least one tweet.
All right, one tweet coming up on maybe the Thursday podcast.
Do we have the Super Bowl odds for Super Bowl LV? We go from LIV to LV. They are out. Kansas City, the top, 6-1. Then you have Baltimore, 7-1.
Wow.
You have the 49ers, 8-1. Then you have Saints, New England, even though the status of Tom Brady is pending, at 14-1. Steelers, 15-1. Both Packers and Dallas, 18-1. Seattle, 22-1. Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then you have the Eagles, you have the Rams, you have the Browns, and the Vikings at 25-1. The Browns are at 25-1.
The Browns are back, baby.
That's crazy.
Yeah, let's start off the hype again. Yeah, Annie, Believeland. I don't believe Lind because you don't believe Lind. You just need to read the analytics Lind. Okay,
So
that's what you do. Analytics Lind.
Who are you more excited about the future for over the next 5 years? The 49ers or the Chiefs?
Excited about both, but the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, I am. Just with Mahomes and everything about it, and Andy Reid and the pressure being off. I just look at that right now and go, ooh, watch out. Because, they're the type of team, too, that they'll probably win some cheap Super Bowl one year. They're not even, like, the best team either because, 15's just going to pull magic off again or some way, somehow, too. But, yeah, I think I'm the most excited about them. And I'm excited about the Niners. Don't get me wrong.
You'd be shocked if both these teams are not in the playoffs next year.
I really would be.
Because we have talked about that before, and you said it this year with the Rams.
Yeah, I said
and
they
you didn't
wouldn't
even
be
pick the Rams to be in the playoffs.
I know.
You were right on that.
Right.
And so we have seen it, where the team that loses the Super Bowl has an issue the next year.
No doubt. I don't think they'll fall into that trap. Now, where I worry about the 49ers being able to replicate last year is, hey, we know Seattle's good. The Rams are still good. You get one injury on the 49ers or, just blow one or two close games and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we're in a division here where we could be 10-6 or 9-7 or not even get in the playoffs. So that's the biggest threat to me with the 49ers. But the talent's still real, and they just got too much of it to think that they're gonna fall off, along with being well coached.
Career Super Bowl victories for Patrick Mahomes, over under 3.5. Would you take the over? He's already got one now. He's 24. Youngest Super Bowl MVP ever.
I'm going to take the under right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to make me put a significant, you got to put $1,000.
Your home.
Be right.
You got to put it your home.
I'm going to take under. Okay. Yeah, I am. I mean, that's a little, as much as I got a confidence in this freak of nature here that's bobbling his head in front of me right now, I can't mark him down for 4 Super Bowls quite yet.
Before we go, you were in Miami for a week.
I was.
You did so many interviews.
I did.
It was like each week. I was doing some Premier League shows, and we were promoting the guests you had for that day.
Yes.
And it was like 10. I was like, just for today? And it was like, yeah, they're talking to 10 people just today. What did you learn that you didn't know previously about any of the people that you talked to? Does any come to mind right off the bat? Because we kind of know these people pretty well, and in these interviews, you don't always get the best stuff. Usually if you're going to get something really newsworthy, it's Peter King in a dark room, one-on-one. But
I learned Drew Brees is coming back. He had a Freudian slip.
Who did?
Drew Brees.
Oh, so he is coming back.
He talked about we on our schedule next year. We have to play these two teams next year. He said the Chiefs and the 49ers. That was a Freudian slip.
Oh, maybe he's coming back as a special assistant.
Well, no, he tried to say, I'm a Saint forever, so that's always wait. No, he's coming back. Okay. I think he slipped there. I learned that.
So does that mean Taysom Hill's coming back and Bridgewater's coming back?
I don't know. I think Taysom Hill will be back for sure. Bridgewater, I would say no. I think Bridgewater ends up somewhere else. I learned that DK Metcalf has 2 tennis balls for a bicep muscle, okay? I mean, he made a muscle, and there was 2 tennis balls in there. I swear. It was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Normally, if you get 1 tennis ball, you're doing pretty good.
And I also learned that Florio has 0 tennis balls. He doesn't even have a half tennis ball for his bicep.
Well, it goes on the other end. Right? It goes down below.
Yeah,
that's a bad thing.
Right. So I learned that. We talked to so many damn people.
You did.
I can't even really remember everything. I talked to, you know what else I learned? You need to watch this. Frank Gore was pissed at me.
Because you don't think he's a Hall of Famer?
I question that, right.
He's got 70,000 rushing yards in his career. He's played for 45 years. And you don't think he's a Hall of Famer
I questioned it.
You think he needs to play one more year?
I said he was on the fence. I did say
all
these
things. Did you say that
things.
to his face?
I did. He knows this. He knows. I knew this.
Why did he do the interview if he knows?
I don't think he really wanted to. I think he wanted to stop and not do it. I think he realized, I've gotten too close and I'm in too deep, and Chris has already seen me.
Yeah.
And I was telling our producer, Matt Casey, of PFT and everything, when we were walking up, and I knew he was on my schedule, right? I go, Frank Gore's going to be pissed at me. I think we're going to get into it here in this because I know he reads and looks at everything.
Yes.
And he saw me and he mean mugged the out of me. Like he wanted to beat me up. And then he continued to talk.
Did you smile at him, though? Because sometimes that can disarm people.
Did not disarm him at all. At all.
Yeah.
And then as he was going on stage, he looked at Florio and goes, "You think I'm a Hall of Famer, right?" And said, Florio goes, "Yeah, I've been saying that all along." And he goes, "Yeah, Sims does it." And Florio goes, "Nope, go get him." And so we had it out a little bit early on.
So when you say to him, "I don't think you're a Hall of Famer," what is he?
I said, so I came on and said he should be in the Hall of Fame. I did.
Oh, you're back.
I did. I did.
Because he was there, you had to say it.
I was very much on the fence. I still am on the fence.
Yeah.
He made this point though that I do think would rank true with me. Mm-hmm. He goes, go back early in my career, look at like some of the team I had around me, the weapons. He goes, only thing there was to do was to stop me in the run game. And he did not want to say that because he was very afraid of offending his teammates.
Yeah.
And even when the interview was over, he was like, did I sound like a jerk? And I was like, no, you didn't sound like a jerk at all.
So you're kind of buddies after the
Well,
interview.
we were buddies before this and then not buddies, and then we hugged it out. I made him hug it with me.
You hugged Frank Gore?
I said, you got to hug it out with me, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, and we hugged it out. And he said, it's all good, and then he thanked me. He said, I thank you. He goes, I need people like you. You drove me. You gave me some incentive, right? So
I've heard people who have coached Frank Gore and played with Frank Gore, they love Frank Gore.
He's amazing.
Like he's just a good dude who will play hopefully forever.
He will. And that's why.
And he'll need to play forever to get into the Hall of Fame in your eyes.
Yes, so, exactly. I think that's why he's pissed at me too, because we have a little relationship. We've gone out to dinner before when he was with the 49ers, and yeah, I bet you he was legitimately pissed. That's all I've learned. Though.
You met Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua.
Did you learn how to say it?
No, okay. Tua. We'll just say it.
Even
Tua.
he doesn't know how to say it.
Really awesome dude, though. You could see the charisma and the professionalism that made him so successful.
You met my guy Matt Patricia.
Matty P, baby.
Please tell me you felt better about the Lions after that interview.
Well, I didn't feel horrible about him going into the interview. I think there's, when you lose your star running back and your star quarterback, your season falls apart.
Yeah.
So I think there is hope there in Detroit. Like, Detroit would be one of those teams right now I would put a little asterisk next to where I'd go, you want to talk about one of those teams who didn't make the playoffs this year that I think will be relevant next year? They would be one of those teams on my radar for that.
Did you learn anything from Russell Wilson? He's pretty guarded.
He is very guarded.
He has the aura of like I'm open but he doesn't really say it much.
No, he gets the conversation answered always skewed back to where he wants it.
The hair's getting out of control for him.
Jerry Curl Central.
I'm not a big
soul
fan.
glow. He's just letting his soul glow.
And Christian McCaffrey. You talk to him. You'll learn anything from him?
Beautiful eyes, man. Crystal blue, silver eyes.
Striking man.
Yes, he is.
People think Jimmy Garoppolo is hands down the most attractive person in the NFL.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey.
No, definitely not. I know my wife saw the Instagram video of Christian McCaffrey, and she was like, "Who is this?" So I think it caught her attention too, and she's like, "Oh, he's good looking." Okay. So yep, that's it.
And you met Gary V, too.
And I met Gary V.
You already knew Gary V.
I knew Gary V. I've hung out with him before. He was amazing. He was all over the Hulu commercial. He knew it was a cryptic message for a commercial.
For Tom Brady.
He called it 3 days before.
Because he's the master of social media.
He is the master of social media.
He knew what Tom was doing even before Tom knew.
Yes, he did. Exactly right.
Okay, cool. That's it. That's all I have for you.
All right, we're good. Good crap. You're the man.
Well done.
Chris Sims, Unbuttoned. All right, so Wednesday, hey, we're going to have an off-season schedule as we
what
go
do we do?
on
Do we
here,
just
okay?
go away now? I don't know.
No, we're going to have 2 pods per week, okay? It's not over. You still got to deal with me. I will be going away next week, okay, for a little vacation with the family. But we got some interviews in the can that we'll unleash for my week off. But Wednesday, we're going to do a little X's and O's Super Bowl recap. I think that's Paulie Baymeister. And then Thursday, you and I will get on the phone. Yep. We'll talk to Big Phil a little bit, break down the game, and maybe some other current news. But that's it. Hope everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl. Super Bowl LIV in the books. Chiefs, Super Bowl champs. My homie, my homie, my homie. He's a Super Bowl champ. Yeah. Peace.
He's good.
Yo, what's up? Come on, man. Subscribe on YouTube to Chris Sims Unbuttoned Podcast. I need you. Please hit the subscribe button, please.